Get 0% financing for 72 months and $2,000 cash. Plus, active military veterans, first responders, and their families get $1,000 extra.
Tonight, Jared Kushner in crisis. The president now weighing in on the allegations against his son-in-law. The calls to revoke his security clearance after he allegedly tried to secure back-channel communications with Russia. Will Kushner take a leave of absence? Breaking news, Tiger Woods arrested. The shocking mugshot. Once one of the world's top golfers, now charged with driving under the influence. Also breaking, treacherous travel. 18 million in the danger zone. Deadly flooding and severe weather across the South. Plus, powerful winds and heavy rain hitting travelers coming home. Water park emergency. A 10-year-old boy flying off this 3-story slide, somehow surviving. Investigators trying to figure out what went wrong. And drone daredevil, the mystery man soaring through a crowded stadium. Is this the future of travel?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
And good evening, I'm Tom Llamas, in for David. It's great to have you with us on this Memorial Day. And we begin with the growing crisis inside the White House involving President Trump and one of his top advisors, son-in-law Jared Kushner. Kushner under FBI scrutiny over his contacts with Russia, allegedly trying to create a back-channel system of communication. Some close to the president now proposing Kushner take a leave of absence. President Trump attending his first public event since returning from his overseas trip, paying tribute to American servicemen and women who died for their country. The White House under increasing pressure over the Russia investigation. ABC's Mary Bruce starts us off.
President Trump marking this Memorial Day with a solemn ceremony, greeting families of the fallen.
You take care of yourself.
So much. His first public event since arriving back home from his overseas trip and back into the center of the Russia firestorm. In the spotlight now, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Sources say he tried to create a secret communications channel with Moscow, even after intelligence agencies found that Russia had meddled in the election. But tonight, the president is fighting back, defending Kushner in a statement to the New York Times, saying Jared is doing a great job for the country. I have total confidence in him. He's respected by virtually everyone. He's one of the president's closest advisors.
Jared is a very successful real estate person, but I actually think he likes politics more than he likes real estate, I must tell you. And he's very good at politics, so.
Kushner right there for key moments like the strike against Syria, traveling on a secret mission to Iraq, and just last week at Trump's side during meetings with foreign leaders. Kushner is not a target of the FBI's investigation, but they do want to talk with him. And now, quietly, some in the president's inner circle are wondering if it might be time for him to take a leave of absence. Sunday, Kushner's wife, Ivanka, was spotted at the White House with the private lawyer that the president's hired to tackle the Russia investigation. The administration insists Kushner did nothing wrong, that any back channel with Russia would have been used to discuss Syria and other policy matters.
It's both normal, in my opinion, and acceptable.
But even some Republicans disagree.
So I don't like it. I just don't. I know that some administration officials are saying, well, that's standard procedure. I don't think it's standard procedure.
And a top Democrat is calling for a review of Kushner's security clearance.
I think we need to get to the bottom of these allegations, but I do think there ought to be a review of his security clearance to find out whether he was truthful, whether he was candid.
And Mary Bruce joins us live now. Mary, the White House clearly in damage control mode. It's been 2 weeks since the press secretary held an on-camera briefing, and now there is talk that could become the norm?
Yeah, Tom, tonight many are wondering how many, if any, briefings we will get here this week. The White House, we know, is now retooling its communications strategy to deal with this constant drip of Russia stories. One thing we know they're considering, fewer on-camera face-offs with the press. Tom.
Mary Bruce starting us off tonight. Mary, thank you. Next, the troubling new headline for Tiger Woods and the shocking image. The former #1 golfer in the world arrested in Jupiter, Florida, early this morning, charged with driving under the influence. Woods struggling in his comeback to recover from injuries. ABC's Gio Benitez is in Florida.
The mugshot showing the golfing great like we've never seen him before. Just after 3 a.m., police pulling Tiger Woods over near his Jupiter, Florida mansion. In his booking report, charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Woods booked by the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office at 7:18 after a sobering night in jail, released by 10:50 a.m.
There it is.
The golfer who once dominated the tour, winning 14 major tournaments, seemingly destined to be the greatest ever in a free fall.
No. God.
Since his first mishap behind the wheel, the crash in 2009, suspected of driving under the influence that led to revelations of numerous affairs and the breakup of his marriage.
I think this changes everything for Tiger Woods. At age 41, unexpected, and really could derail any chances he has to come back.
Recent years marred by crippling back and knee injuries. He's played only once this season. Just last month, after his most recent surgery, Woods saying he felt no pain, recently appearing on Good Morning America.
The mind is sharp. I just need to get the body willing to do it.
But the man who was the world's #1 ranked golfer for 5 years, tonight sits at number 876 with criminal charges hanging over his head. And Tom, tonight we know Woods could get probation or even jail time if convicted, and there's no word on when he might return to the golf course. Tom.
So many talking about that image and this story tonight. All right, Gio, thank you. Next tonight, the severe weather threatened the South at this hour, from Atlanta to the Carolinas. Deadly flooding in Branson, Missouri this weekend. At least 2 people killed and 1 person missing. Dangerous storms hitting as millions head home in the final hours of this holiday weekend. Here's ABC's Lindsay Janis.
Tonight, a deadly storm system on the move, making travel treacherous for millions. In Atlanta, traffic slowing to a crawl. Lightning, the suspected cause of this house fire in Cobb County.
More than 570 reports of severe weather across the country on Saturday alone, making it the 2nd most active day of the year. Softball-sized hail falling south of Kansas City. In Branson, Missouri, 2 people killed and a 3rd missing after flash flooding swept away their vehicle.
We're just trying to get home, and unfortunately we're not familiar with the area too well.
In Memphis, a woman trapped in her sister's home when a giant tree nearly split it in 2.
I'm very blessed and lucky to be alive.
Nearly 200,000 people losing power in the area.
Tom, an estimated 1 in 10 Americans took a road trip this weekend, the most in more than a decade. In parts of the Northeast and the South, the stormy weather making that trip both long and dangerous. Tom?
And a lot of folks still on the road. Lindsay, thank you. So with that, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
Anybody driving within this severe thunderstorm watch is the ones that I really want to watch out for tonight. You can see it in pink there from east of Atlanta. There are warnings on the map now just north of Augusta, Georgia, up through parts of Charlotte and just north of there. It's really the damaging winds tonight, Tom, that I'm watching through this yellow region. Again, most of South Carolina and North Carolina, places like Rock Hill or Fayetteville, in the threat this evening. Now, as most of us in the Northeast see the rain dry out and say, man, that was cool, we're going to finally warm up by the end of the week. This was the coolest Memorial Day since 2004 at Central Park.
We definitely needed the jackets. All right, Ginger, thanks so much. Next tonight, new developments in the possible hate crime attack in Portland, Oregon. The suspect accused of killing 2 men and wounding a 3rd as they protected 2 young women from his alleged racial slurs on a train. New video shows the suspect ranting on the same train the day before the attack, and the president tweeting about all of this today, calling it unacceptable. Here's ABC's Adrian Banker.
Jeremy Christian will face a judge after allegedly stabbing 3 men on a Portland train. Tonight, we're learning of the possible warning signs. Just a day before, Christian was seen here laughing and ranting on that same train.
You got a problem with what I'm saying? All you Christians and Muslims and Jews.
Police say on Friday he started spewing hate at fellow passengers, then stabbed 3 men who tried to protect them, killing 2.
He stabbed 3 people in the jugular on the max. Where's Bull McMahon?
Police say they dealt with Christian multiple times. At this free speech rally last month, he's seen wielding a bat and giving what looks like a Nazi salute.
I'm a nihilist.
We don't know if he's got mental health issues. We don't know if he's under the influence of drugs.
Destiny Mangum was on that train with her friend who was wearing a hijab. She says Christian said, "Get out of my country."
I just want to say thank you to the people who put their life on the line for me because they didn't even know me.
One of those men who survived, Micah Fletcher, his mother thanking the man who saved his life.
If he hadn't been there, then there would be 3 dead people today.
President Trump even tweeting about the attack, calling it unacceptable, saying the victims were standing up to hate and intolerance and that our prayers are with them. Tom?
Adrian Bankert for us tonight. Adrian, thank you. Overseas now in breaking news out of Baghdad. The images coming at this hour devastating. A deadly bomb attack just after sundown during Ramadan. An apparent car bomb targeting a well-known ice cream parlor in the city, popular with families and especially children. Fire and debris covering the area, as you can see. No one has yet claimed responsibility for this attack. And a vigil marking 1 week since the deadly terror attack in Manchester, England. Thousands of people paying tribute to the 22 victims killed when a bomb exploded outside an Ariana Grande concert, many leaving flowers and pink balloons. And police today releasing this new image of bomber Salman Abedi on the day of the attack. They're hoping to find that large suitcase he was carrying. Next tonight, North Korea provoking the world with a new missile test. It's the third in 3 weeks. The short-range missile flying hundreds of miles and landing in Japanese water. President Trump blaming North Korea for disrespecting China. ABC's Bob Woodruff traveled to China's border with North Korea.
In its latest provocation, North Korea launching a new test, a Scud missile landing in Japanese waters, just as state media showed Kim Jong-un inspecting his new anti-aircraft system. President Trump today condemning a defiant regime. North Korea has shown great disrespect for their neighbor China by shooting off yet another ballistic missile. But China is trying hard. But despite China's mild pressure, it's not enough. We traveled along North Korea's 800-mile border.
So this is China right here. Right across the river is North Korea, and it is absolutely dark.
The two countries still trading partners, but tension is growing, security tighter. Tonight, the threat remains that North Korea will one day be able to reach the U.S. mainland with a nuclear missile. The Pentagon tomorrow will conduct a test like this one, firing a mock warhead from an island in the Pacific and attempting to block it with a rocket fired from a base in California.
The bottom line is it would be a catastrophic war if this turns into combat, if we're not able to resolve this situation through diplomatic means.
Now today, Japan's prime minister condemned this new missile test, saying he is working with the U.S. and will, quote, take specific action to deter North Korea. No details yet about how that could happen. Tom?
Bob Woodruff for us from Beijing tonight. Bob, thank you. Back here at home on this Memorial Day, the military tonight investigating the death of a Navy SEAL killed during an air and sea show right here in New York. The SEAL was a member of an elite parachute team. His chute failing to open, you spotted drifting to the ground there after he cut himself free. The SEAL plunging into the Hudson River near the Statue of Liberty. His name so far has not been released. And new details about the water park emergency in California. We do want to warn you, some of these images are graphic. A 10-year-old boy falling over the edge of a 3-story water slide, hitting the concrete, but surviving, even able to walk away from this injury. The park reopening today, but investigators are now looking into what caused the frightening accident. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Tonight, the fallout after that terrifying moment at a newly opened water park in Northern California. Watch as a 10-year-old boy launches down this 80-degree drop from 3 stories up, then straight over the edge of the slide. Surprisingly, he walked away with only minor scrapes and bruises.
I would be worried about those 2 slides because they are really steep.
The heart-stopping incident happened just 90 minutes into the Wave Water Park's grand opening on Saturday. The slide, called the Emerald Plunge, was immediately shut down along with 2 other slides.
We're going to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
The city of Dublin, which owns the park, says inspectors from the state and the slide's manufacturer are investigating the incident at the $43 million complex, which is still operating other attractions.
I'm way too scared to ride that.
Every year, more than 4,200 people are taken to the hospital after suffering injuries on public water slides.
There are no 2 states that regulate amusement rides and water park rides the same way.
There is a minimum height requirement in place for that slide, but park officials now tell us they're considering additional safety measures, like a weight requirement and changing the water pressure on the slide. Tom?
Such a frightening accident. We're glad that little boy's okay. Kana, thank you. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday. A zoo evacuated and shut down after a tiger goes on the attack. Plus, a little girl loses feeling in her legs, all because of a tick bite. what you need to know as one of the worst tick season ever approaches. And this is not a movie. This is real life. A drone big enough to transport humans. Is this the future of travel? Stay with us.
A lifetime of your dog's nutritional needs, all in one. Purina One. Healthy energy, all in one. Strong muscles, all in one. Highly digestible, and a taste he loves, all in one. Purina One Smart Blend is expertly blended with 100% nutrition, 0% fillers. Always real meat number one. Lifelong smart nutrition. It's all in one. Purina One.
Nothing spoils a moment like heartburn. Try new Alka-Seltzer Ultra Strength Heartburn Relief Chews. It's fast, powerful relief with no chalky taste. Ultra Strength, new from Alka-Seltzer. Enjoy the relief.
As soon as I left the hospital after a DVT blood clot, I sure had a lot to think about. What about the people I care about, including this little girl? And what if this happened again? I was given